guys, Billy Joe Pickles here. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. And yes, again today, it is going to be another folktale story. I know. Some people are like, enough with the folk tales. Okay, enough with the stories. We just want to see you live your life and be yourself in New York and on the train and shit. But you gotta do what feels right. Do what feels right in the mind, body, soul. And right now we're in a story time phase, okay? I feel like it's a very niche audience I have that is watching my folktale stories. Okay. Bless this water with truth. Okay. Now let's get started. This is the story. We call it the folktale of the Destiny Swapper. Some people call it the story of the nature witches. Some people call it the story of the yin yang twins. I mean, the yin yang sisters, the yin yang twins. There's so many names for this story, okay? And I'm not sure. I call it a bunch of different things. Okay. So now it's like I need to eat because like I already feel myself getting shaky and like so I've been eating. This is the real way to eat. Oh my god, did you know? Do you guys know the mango trick? I learned it from what's that kid's name? The influencer. He started off as like the poor kid and now he like lives in Hawaii and has like 100 chickens. He's the makeup influencer. You guys know who I'm talking about? What's his I forget. Why am I blanking his name? I don't know, but I follow all his TikToks. Remember, he was so famous in like I think like 2015. He was in high school at the time, and he would like do the most extravagant. Like he would beat his face to the nines, and he like literally lived in the ghetto. And now he's like a billionaire, basically. Not really, but millions, and has like a huge mansion in Hawaii. Takes care of like his 14 family members. They're all having kids, like his sisters all have kids, so he's all these nieces and nephews. They all just like live together and have like all these fucking like a huge mansion farm in Hawaii. It's like crazy. Um, and he taught me how to eat a mango. So you cut it like around, and then all you do is twist and then pull off the top, and then you like yeah. Uh, uh, Sorry, one second. I eat fruit the way fruit is supposed to be eaten. Um, he eats it the way I eat it too, like a monster. Like the way you're supposed to eat fruit is the way fruit comes. Like you're supposed to eat fruit like with your hands and like an animal, like like that. That's just the way you're supposed to eat fruit. You're not supposed to like cut it all perfectly. Like I feel like you're just supposed to be outside, and it's supposed to be just like dripping down your face. There's like this. Like this is the correct way, just so you know. Like this is the classy way to do it, honestly. Like it's like this is what God wants. This is what God wants. So this is what I'm gonna respect the fruit and enjoy it the way it's supposed to be enjoyed. Sorry, just give me a second. Okay, that's enough for right now. Start over. This story takes place in 1823 BC. And this is when like the witches ran, okay? Like this is before obviously BC. This is before this is when everything was like all magic. Families weren't families. Families like you have your coven, you know? This is actually before humans. Like this is all these witches like they looked human, but none of them like were actually really human. Um just a different time. And yeah, mango all stuck in my teeth. So, the three main characters in this story are named Quinn, light, pale skin, dark, jet black hair. Okay, long, comes down to here, piercing green eyes. Her eyes actually change. Okay, so Quinn Quinn is the angel of the dark. I mean, the witch of the dark. Okay, and she's just that's just how she was born. Like she's just that is who she is. So it doesn't make her wrong. Okay. So don't think of like when I say things in the story like the light in the dark, the devil, hell, because this is a story about like hell, heaven, like all that stuff. Also, like if you're religious, like don't even take it that like this is a story, like relax. Okay. So Quinn was born dark, okay? But it's like beautiful, you know, like dark witches, like there's still like it's not ugly. It's like it's still the dark is like still beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Ages don't exist. Witches are witches. They all live like thousands and thousands of years. So there's no really like age to them. They all just you kind of choose in this dimension like how you want to look age wise and stuff like that. And it more depends on like your personality. Like you can look like an older witch, but really just, but be a younger witch, but your personality is more mature. So you know what I'm saying. Okay. Character number two is Frankie. Frankie, darker skin, and like lighter hair. Quinn has darker hair. Frankie has lighter hair. Quinn has lighter skin. Frankie has darker skin. These two are like the fucking yin yangs, okay? That's why this story is called but it could be called like the yin yang twins or the yin yang sisters. I'm sorry, the mango. And I don't even have floss. I ran out of my last floss stick last night. And Frankie is the light, okay? Frankie is the white witch. Frankie was born light. She doesn't have like really darkness in her. Like she's naturally um what kind of light is Frankie? Frankie very calming. She's kind of like the ocean, I would say. Frankie's like the ocean, okay? That's like kind of her personality. Just so like wishy-washy, um very just like la la la. But it works for her because that's her personality. Quinn's personality, what the fuck is it? Quinn is like the fucking dark forest bitch. Like Quinn, um, she is, yeah, if we're talking nature, Quinn is the dark forest, and there's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of just, you never know what's going on. It's scary, but also we love the forest is an intriguing place. The forest is the forest. If you're a forest lover, you know, like we don't recommend that kids just like run into the forest and get lost in the forest, but if you know how to work your way around the forest, like the forest is fucking gorgeous. The dark forest. Okay. Now, back to now character number 3. These are like there's other characters, but these are the 3 main characters. Um Character number 3, her name is Kim. Kim is a blonde, okay? So here's the thing about Kim. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not even going to get into Kim yet. We're going to get into Kim once we get into the story, okay? Kim's not really a main character yet. So, Quinn and Frankie at this place, it's not like you're born from a mother, like you are born from the earth, okay? And when you're born from the earth kind of tells you where your coven is. These are witches, remember? So your the basically like their coven like is their families, you know? So Quinn, since she was born in the dark, not in the dark, but as the dark, she was born in a different coven. And her coven, she just didn't come from like a very strong coven, really. Uh, the thing is, Quinn is a very strong, since she is like the forest and very deep and strong and very rooted in the earth. Um, it's almost like she doesn't really need a coven, but the thing is she always wanted a coven. Like she was always like jealous of people like who have a coven. And actually let's get into Kim. Kim was actually, when she was born from the earth, she was born into a really prestigious coven. And I would say that coven that Kim is in are the protectors of the earth, okay? They're the nature witches, you would say. Okay. And I know I said that Quinn is like the dark forest, and then Frankie is like the ocean. I was describing their personalities, but they aren't really witches of the nature, okay, at all. Like they aren't of the nature. I was just using those terms to describe their personality. But Kim is actually born to be like in the coven of the nature protectors. But the two, Frankie and these are all separate people covens, like no one knows each other yet. The type of witch that Quinn is the witch of materialism, okay? And actually, Frankie is also a witch of materialism. So everyone has like other aspects to them. Like if you're like a nature witch, you don't only have to stick to nature witches. Like you can, the thing is, it is basically who you are, like because the earth is telling you like that is who you are. But like you can everyone is just like a little bit multifaceted, kind of like humans. Like humans aren't just like one specific thing. Maybe you have like some core things about your personality, but like not everything's like black and white like that. You know what I'm saying? So Kim is born into this prestigious family, and this prestigious they're prestigious just because they are the rulers of the earth, the protectors of the earth, the witches of the earth, right? The nature witches, right? They just like keep the nature in check, and all of their powers come through nature, okay? And with the material witches like Quinn and Frankie, their power comes through maybe creating material items, okay? Working with their hands, they have special things about them to create material things. They make potions. They make a lot of things. They make a lot of things, but they're not really aware of each other. They're in different covens, okay, and they're not born in prestigious covens the way Kim is. Like Kim has a very strong coven behind her, but Frankie and Quinn, like they don't have like very strong covens backing them. So they're kind of like on their own in a little bit, in a way. Let's go to Frankie first, okay? Frankie is a newer witch and all of her powers are not activated yet, okay? So Frankie, the earth had come up and told her to go on like a little excursion, if you will. And they sent her with a note, and they were basically like, look, okay, we couldn't tell you this when you were born, um, but you actually have a sister, and your sister's name is Quinn. And Quinn is. Oh, God, don't we love a story time? So Quinn Quinn is across the riverbank, okay? So Frankie has to get her ass up. The Earth gives her a note, and Frankie's not even allowed to read the note. They're just basically the Earth actually didn't even tell her like that's your sister. They were just like, you need to go find Quinn, okay? We're directing you to go find Quinn. And in this like universe, it's not really like words that are spoken. It's more just like the earth kind of just like controls. You have free will, but it's more the words are more just like unspoken in this universe, okay? It's not really like that's why it's a little hard for me to explain the story because it's very again, it's very like unseen. There's no I'm making up my own words to describe all of this. You know, it's not like spoken. The story is there is no like spoken word in this story, you know, so I'm just the narrator. Um, so she's getting pulled to go find Quinn, and she walks through the riverbanks. She's fucking trekking and trekking and trekking. Look at them. They're gonna listen to the story too. That's why we had to move over here because she wants to listen, right? Right. Yeah. So when Frankie shows up, she sees that there's actually she walked up to a place where there's two covens, okay? So there was Quinn's coven, and then there was Kim's Quinn's coven, there's Kim's coven, and the blonde is Kim. And Kim has her prestigious coven all backing her too, right? The thing is, Frankie was never told that Kim's coven was supposed to be there. I mean, she didn't really think anything of it at all because she was told she was going to just find, she was told to go find Witch Quinn, Quinn Witch, the Witch Quinn. But she was never told that she was supposed to go find Kim. You know what I'm saying? So Frankie was like, huh, okay. Well, maybe I was supposed to find all of them, right? She goes up to Quinn and she goes, hands her a note. And Quinn opens the note and goes, what? This note says that I'm your sister, but I don't have a sister. She was like, huh, that's weird. And also it was like kind of weird because the note did come from the earth, but in this dimension, in this time, there's a lot of like forces and weird like unseen things. This is all like witches and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like magic and trickery and stuff like that. So people don't just like trust the first thing that really like comes to them. This little witch coming up and being like, yeah, hi, he, I'm your sister. And she's like, Quinn's like, I don't even know. Like, kind of just like, she liked her. Don't get me wrong. She liked her because here's the thing. Quinn just likes anyone, really. Quinn, since I told you, she's kind of like a dark witch. She's like, oh, another person I can just like, fuck it, I can just use, you know? Like, Quinn has. Quinn's the best. Quinn's the best. But she just like, she's just like a user, you know? Like, and Frankie's not really like that. So it's kind of weird that they were like put together because it didn't really like make sense, you know? Like they were just completely two opposites, kind of looked alike, but everything about them was like the opposite, was like different. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so like everyone was just like, the thing is, Frankie's like, I'm here. Like, you're stuck with me. And Quinn's like, okay, like, I guess I'll use you to like pick berries for me because like I could use someone to pick my berries. But, to go out and pick berries for me and bring them home for dinner. But like, And you'll be lucky if you're fucking eating. But Frankie's like basically stuck there because she's told that she had to go there, and she had like, what is she gonna do? Like she didn't she it wasn't her fault. Like it's not her that like put in the request, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Quinn's kind of liking her. Quinn likes Frankie, but also she's just trying to turn her into a slave, basically. Just like she's trying to turn. She also sees that she's a very like she's not an established witch, and Quinn only likes established witches, and this is where Kim comes in because Kim's an established witch. And so Kim, I told you, is the witch of nature. And Quinn, God, I shouldn't have used names so similar to each other. And Quinn is the witch of materialism. Well, here's the thing. So Quinn has always just wanted a coven. She's on her own. The coven is of her. Like she's kind of like the main ringleader of a coven, but her coven isn't very like her coven that backs her isn't very strong. And she's trying to build it up and make it strong. Kim has the strong coven. And this is the thing. So these like nature witches, they decided this is all no one knows in the story that this is happening, but Kim and her coven, the coven of nature, they they've been around for centuries and centuries and centuries working with the earth and stuff. But the thing is, Kim is bored of the nature thing. She looks at what Kim started to want was materialism. Kim started to wanted to be to take over the powers of materialism, and she wanted to start being like a witch of materialism. The problem is with Kim is so since she was born into like a prestigious family and had always gotten everything she had ever wanted, like nothing really like she just felt kind of entitled to everything, you know what I mean? So the thing is like she would like she would go out and see witches of materialism, and she was like, I want that. Like I want that for me. Even though she already had like her nature, her coven of nature, it's like she's bored of it, you know? Like she's like, been here, done that. Um there's just some she's greedy is what she is. She wanted materialism. She's greedy. So she's greedy and she's entitled, is what she is. And Quinn desperately wanted to just like be in a coven. So the thing is, Kim kind of saw that, and Kim's coven kind of sees that. So they were like, maybe we can take over and we can be let's like they're trying to expand their coven, right? Since they're already such a big coven, the coven of they're trying to invest now in materialism so they can be the coven of materialism and nature. So and to be a coven of materialism and nature, like that would be like the biggest dark that would rule the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's only two covens, materialism and nature. Like so it's like they just wanted it all, right? They're like, let's try to get to the top, you know? And let's see how much power we can gain here. And they looked at Quinn and they found Quinn and they saw that she was kind of desperate to be in the coven. So they were like, we'll give you backing. Like, you can be in our coven, but you have to give your coven to us too. So they agreed on the exchange, right? They were like, Quinn is like, okay, like, sounds good to me. But the thing is, Quinn never cared about taking over the coven of nature. She just wanted to like be part of the group. But she didn't really care for like power like that. She only cares to have power in materialism, right? And she's kind of like, since she's doing everything on her own, it's not like she has like this huge, like, she's trying to build her coven up, make it bigger, make the material coven bigger. And I think that the earth had told, let's go back to Frankie, told Frankie to find Quinn because together, since they're both from the coven, since they're both from the energy of materialism, they could they could start building a really strong coven together. But the problem is that Quinn is like Quinn is such an older sister, by the way. Like Quinn kind of reminds me of like how I was to my older sister. I mean, I'm an older sister, and like I was just fucking brutal to my I still feel guilty to this day. There's just some older sisters, I'm part of it, the mean older sisters. I was always the mean older sister. And that's kind of the vibe of Quinn. She's like the fucking mean older sister. And she kind of looked at Frankie like, ugh. The thing is, Quinn wasn't understanding, and Frankie didn't really understand at the time. What the Earth had sent them together for is since they are of the light in the dark, it's kind of like the Earth was trying to tell them, okay, if you guys would come together, then you would be a full, right? And so that's where I think of this story as kind of like the yin yang twins or the yin yang sisters, because it is kind of like a yin yang, like the black and the white. And as halves, it doesn't make sense. But when you put the yin yang together, it's like perfect and it makes a whole. And once they had like a whole, then they could start building a huge coven, the huge coven of materialism back up again. And that's what the earth wants because the earth wants balance. And the earth sees that the nature coven is like kind of overruling the coven of materialism at the time. So the earth was trying to bring balance to society. That is what was happening. No one really though in this story is clocking what's going on because how could you zoom out and see all this from the outside, right? If Quinn would have just taken Frankie instead of like she just decided Quinn is just a fucking older sister fucking bitch cunt basically. Quinn thinks that she is so much better than Frankie and kind of looks at Frankie like Frankie isn't established yet, but the whole thing is Quinn's not established yet. They needed each other so they could establish each other. Okay, so Quinn is really good at using her resources, using going into the forest and like using people to like let's say go pick berries for her to bring, um using people to gain materials, right? To gain material wealth. And that's why Kim loved her because Kim just greedy wanted just like all of uh Quinn would just gain a bunch of material because that's what she's good at, just gaining a bunch of material items. And she would give them to the nature witch, Kim, and be like, here, here. And Kim would get to use like all her material items and stuff like that. And then in return, Kim would just be like, oh my God, like you're part of my family, stuff like that. And just like giving Quinn words of affirmation. Just she's kind of like just a pretender, like trying to make just doing anything she possibly can to make Quinn feel loved, even if her actions weren't really out of love. And Frankie, this is what Frankie's good at. Frankie knows how to cultivate attention. Frankie knows how to display. Frankie knows how to take material items and display them in a very beautiful way. And so Frankie's job was there to show Quinn how to display her wealth, And the thing is, but Frankie, she knows how to display. She knows how to get attention. She's a siren, like she's good at she wasn't Frankie's not good at collecting material wealth, but when she does have it, she knows how to display the energy of material wealth, just to be like because that's what material wealth is. It needs to be shown off, So Frankie's more of the like, I know how to wear jewels and be dripping in them. And that's where like the power comes, right? And because you can have all the the materials in the world, but if you don't know how to display them correctly, no one's going to see. It's not giving power to the earth. You know what I'm saying? And then for Frankie, it's like, yeah, she can display. She doesn't have much to display. So it's like she needed Quinn to give her the things to kind of like drip her in diamonds to to build for them. And then together they were supposed to yin yang together, and one was supposed to take all the powers of the other. Also, I told you they are of the light and of the dark. So even on a deeper level than that, like the darkness in Quinn was supposed to be transmuted by Frankie's light, and Frankie has too much light. She couldn't protect herself because she has too much light, you know? And it's like she needed that darkness like for protection. So together it was just be like a harmonious, like just perfect duo. They were meant to be together is what I'm trying to say. They are the sisters. They are sisters. You know how sisters are. It's like you could like fucking hate your sister, like literally hate your sister to the core, but like your sister's your sister. You're still like on the inside always going to love your sister. There's people who don't fucking talk to their sisters, but you still at the end of the day, they still love their sister. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't really rip sisters apart. And okay, so you can't really rip sisters apart. That's where Kim made her mistake. The thing is, the second Frankie arrived, Kim was freaking out on the inside because Kim saw it all. She saw what was going to happen. Kim started observing Frankie and saw Frankie's gifts, and she already knew Quinn, and she saw, like, and her whole family saw, her whole coven saw that if Frankie and Quinn could come together, it was going to be their coven would be established, right? It would be just like it'd be fucking fireworks. It'd be if they could work together, it'd be boom. And the thing is, Quinn would realize that she didn't. I think that Kim was scared or is scared, realizing, well, she's just gonna. She's like she, she wasn't gonna get what she always wanted because now Frankie is here, you know, and she wasn't gonna be able to like take all of Quinn's things, you know, like she was very, 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 very jealous. She was jealous that they looked alike, you know. She was jealous. It's just the jealousy was like already there because she deep down knew that Kim always knew that she wasn't qualified. She wasn't supposed to be dipping into the realm of materialism. She's supposed to be in the realm, she's supposed to be in the coven that she came from, right? Like trying to establish herself in the coven that she is of, the coven of nature. Like she's not really even supposed to be like over here. And so she saw that Frankie naturally was supposed to be over here, so she's like, mm-mm. I want the power of materialism. Like what and the thing is Kim is like a little bit racist. And what I mean by racist, it's not like racist what you think of how things like of how someone like looks in this dimension. Kim has the racism where it's like if something doesn't look a certain way, if something doesn't act a certain way, because the thing is, Frankie has things about her that Kim just like thought she just didn't like for no reason. She just decided that she didn't like it. So she decided that since she was already working with Quinn, it's like it was hard for her to like control her racism that she held towards Frankie. Kim is like, oh yeah, like kind of looked at Frankie like she was kind of like a bug that she could just squash and kill off, and it wouldn't really matter because Kim's insides are correct and Frankie's insides are something that she doesn't like. So since she doesn't like it, since she grew up in a prestigious family, since she didn't like it, it must be wrong. And since it's wrong, I can kill it. I can kill it off. I can squash it off like a bug. It's not equal. We're not equal. We're not equal. Or I should be over here. We're not equal. What do you mean? You're less than me. You're just a bug, you know? And Frankie felt that from the beginning. And Frankie was just fucking there. She's like, I don't even, I'm not even trying to take your like the thing is Frankie, the thing about her is she needed Quinn to kind of put more drive in her, put more power in her because she's still a little witch, right? So since she's still a little witch, she's not an established witch yet. It's not like she was trying to like go for things like, she's just not established yet. She's fucking floating around and doesn't know what's going on. Like she knows what's going on, but she doesn't have enough power. She doesn't have the power that Kim like she's like, there's no competition. I don't have power. Like she doesn't have her full voice yet. She doesn't have like her full her clothes yet. She doesn't have a lot yet. So and Kim would be damned if Quinn were to give her anything. You know what I mean? Kim from the beginning was like, no, 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 Quinn, no, Quinn, no, Quinn, don't look at Frankie, don't look at Frankie. But it's also like she couldn't come off as that because it's like then Quinn would be like, why are you so psycho? Quinn would start catching on that she just wanted her for her material gains. You know what I mean? What's scary is if Kim, let's just say Kim could have the power, especially has since she has her coven behind her, to take away all Quinn is building. I feel like Kim is kind of like using Kim's coven is using Quinn to build for them, and then Quinn started using Frankie to build for her. So what happened is all Frankie's not getting anything from anyone. So Frankie's just being drained of all her powers. Okay. And the thing is, what no one realizes in this story is Frankie, yes, she's a little witch. She's not established yet, but Frankie still is only just a little bit behind these other people. Well, actually, she's actually on the same level as Quinn. Quinn and Frankie are on the same level. Quinn's just, a darker force, a more demanding force. So, and Frankie's not like that. Frankie is very humble. And so it kind of seems like Frankie is weaker when she's really not. And that's what everyone fucked up with because they didn't realize that Frankie's actually the strongest. So Quinn's draining all of Frankie's powers because she doesn't care. She's not looking at her like a younger sister that she needs to enrich and take care of. Like she doesn't know. She wants to be in Kim's family. So the thing is, so it's like a circle and it's all being drained around back. It's like a circle of energy that's all going back to Kim, right? Like Quinn is siphoning Frankie's energy and giving it to Kim. Okay. And since Kim is racist towards Frankie, she was taking she was taking all her power. You know what I mean? And then Kim is like, you know what? Kim started to see like since Frankie is such a big force, it's not like they could drain everything out of her and like kill her. That's what kind of Kim wanted, but actually that's what they all wanted to do. They just wanted to drain her and kill her is what they wanted to do to her. And they didn't care because they kind of just were like, yeah, no, like we just want what we want. Like they're all kind of selfish. And Frankie's not. That's why if Frankie was smart and she was a little more selfish, she'd be like, I'm going back home. Or, like she would have demanded more. But like, no, the whole mess was she needed Quinn, and Quinn was like, not, Quinn was just being an older sister. Little bitch. Older sisters just, we have to be more careful. We do. If you're an older sister and you're like younger, let's say if you're a teenager right now and you have like a younger, be more careful, be nicer to your sister. I wish I was. I'm close with my sister, but I just still always feel so bad. Anyway, um, where was I in the story? Oh, okay. So this is the problem. Since Quinn and Frankie were sisters, Quinn kind of just like was trying to like kill off Frankie, but Quinn started to like love Frankie because Quinn is the Dark Witch. Her heart, what was happening is as Frankie was around her and giving to her and all of that, Quinn's heart started opening up, like since Frankie is of the light, um it started like pushing light. She was siphoning light off of her. And Quinn started feeling like compassion and stuff like that for Frankie. And Kim was like, no, not going to have it. And so, what Kim would do is Kim started stealing. And what she was doing is she was cloaking. Kim was like getting pissed off that she saw Quinn was gaining compassion and like opening her heart to Frankie. So Kim was like so fucking jealous of that Kim was trying to like almost take what Quinn wanted to do is take Frankie's gifts and take Frankie's body and just be Frankie, be herself inside of Frankie. Okay? That's what she was trying to do. What she was trying to do is destiny swap with Frankie. She decided that she was done with nature, and then it became like a full competition, and it was going to be she didn't care how hard she had to fucking go. She was gonna destiny swap with Frankie. Okay. And Frankie could go to the nature. Frankie could fucking use her ratty ass body and go somewhere else. Because the thing is, Kim, when you're a witch that's trying to go to another coven that is not of you, that is not of your truest form, it's like those witches aren't right. Like those witches don't really know who they are on the inside, like so since she didn't really know who she was on the inside, she was just going to be Frankie. That's fine. Like cuz Frankie would never want to be Kim because Frankie's very like she knows who she is. She's not going to like overstep or anything like that. Like she's good. She's not trying to be Kim or wants anything to do with Kim. She's grossed out by like anytime Kim would come around, Frankie would just try to like not talk at all. And just because she knew what she was doing, every time she would talk, she would take her voice. Anytime she was around, she would take her hair. She would take her eyes. She would take anytime Frank oh shit.